Finally getting this review of episode one out of Welcome to Derry, the new HBO series based off of the It movies, the recent It movies. And this takes place in the 60s, going back. Um, Kicking off with episode one. I don't know if I should do spoilers or not. Okay. I'm gonna do spoilers here, so if you don't want to know, you know, time out. Okay. Um, First off, it sets the bar early in the first like 10 minutes of the movie. The movie. It's like a movie. Feels like one of the hour episode one, where you have this kid named Marty who's trying to get away from, Derry. It starts off with him in the theater watching a film, which is an important thing later on in this episode as this one scene is playing out this song. And the usher comes in and shines his light on Marty. And he's like, "Oh shit," because he snuck in. So he runs out there. He hides behind like this. I think it was like a cutout of a movie or something. And this one girl sees him and kind of protects him from the usher seeing him. She basically says, "Oh, he ran that way." And eventually, Marty gets out of the theater, and then it kind of goes a little bit where he's walking outside of the town, and there's this car. This car has a wife and husband, and their two kids in the back. So he's like, "I want to get out of here." And then there's mention of the couple, the wife. Yeah, the wife says, "Oh, we're off to Poland or whatever," right? So the car is going along, and as it goes along, things start to get very weird. The son's starting to spell these words like trouble and so on and so forth, and then the daughter's reaching in this gross, like liver, like Tupperware container of this liver stuff. There's blood all over her fingers. At one point, she's like trying to touch Marty. So obviously, something's crazy going on here. And then this is the part where me and my wife are like, "What the hell?" She gives birth to this flying demon creature thing. Like it's about that big, right? And it's quite a visceral scene, I guess the word would be. Like it's not. This is not a PG-13 show. They make this right off the bat. Like you see this thing and it comes out and all that, and wow. And long story short, pretty much like it ends with the glass of Marty's side breaking, and he has a soother. He's had a soother this whole time, and flies towards the screen, and you think, well, that's it for that dude. And then we kind of jump ahead to really introducing these kids. God forbid I remember their names. I'm terrible with names, but you have like the girl. She has an encounter at night in the bathroom with, like, in the tub. There's a drain in the tub, and then there's some voices in there, kind of like what they did in the was it the chapter one where Beverly hears the voice and everything. This that was also in the book, by the way. Same thing here, where there's voices and this character hears it, and the finger comes up like through the drain. She freaks out, so she goes ahead and she talks to these kids that knew Marty. Right? There's some yeah information there, like perhaps Marty was didn't have like such a good home life, etc., etc. And here you think they're establishing these new characters. Um, Long story short, pretty much the rest of the episode is in has the kids end up at the theater at the end of the episode, and then sprinkled in there is the military storyline with I guess the main character there, and he comes back from being in Korea. I think it was Korea. Um, and he talks to like the colonel whose actor's name I can't remember, but he's been in a lot of stuff, and he's actually a really good actor. I remember him. He's really good. There's not a lot there in episode one. You kind of give just a little bit of like the racial thing, of course, because it's the '60s and all that, and having someone as your commanding officer being of a different race is kind of ooh. But they of course hinted that, right? But that's fine. It doesn't like overdo it. So we get back to the kids at the end of the episode here, and they eventually they kind of like go to the library, and they kind of like come to the conclusion that there's something in this song from in this movie, right? And so the girl that kind of like protected Marty from the usher in the beginning, she's the one that gets the film going again, and they sneak in, and she rolls it, and it's a cool sequence. So it's like the scene with the song, and all of a sudden Marty's there on the screen holding this like baby wrapped in a cloth or whatever, right? And it zooms in on him while blocking out everything else. It's kind of like that scene. It was chapter one where they're watching that film, and then Pennywise all of a sudden comes to the screen. Sort of the same thing here, except the baby turns out to be that bat creature we saw in the very first 10 minutes of this episode, and he messes the kids up. Like, no holding back. They're done. Except for the one girl, the one that heard the voices through her drain. She manages to like crawl her way out, and prior to the movie, I'm just gonna call her the movie girl. She comes in the room after being up in the booth there running the film. Comes in, sees the girl. She's kind of crawling out of the aisle there, and prior to that moment there, um, one of the kids brought his daughter, his sister with them in the theater. Right, she's a little girl. She's not. She's introduced like 10 minutes or 5 minutes before that whole scene or sequence. So that girl's trying to grab her as this bad thing's doing his thing, smoking the other two guys, and she's going to grab her, and it kind of like cuts off with that scene there. And then that's when the movie girl comes in, and her and the other girl get out of there after the whole carnage, and there's like blood all over the I'm gonna call her the bathroom girl. And then the sequence there is where it looks like she's been injured on the one arm. However, she's holding the arm of the little girl she was trying to pull to safety. I'm like, holy shit. And that's pretty much how the episode ends. And for a first episode, I'm like, damn, they did not hold back. Like, you have craziness in the first 10 minutes, you have craziness in the last 10 minutes, and then in the middle, you're kind of like building this situation, right? And there are hints of Pennywise there, if you've seen the two It films. And it's cool that they don't reveal Pennywise right away. There's going to be a build up. They have mentioned that they're going to he's going to be in the later episodes, which is fine. But holy shit, this first episode is insane. Okay, that's the end of the spoilers. So right there. But man, the first episode kicks it off. I hope like the rest of the episodes are this intense. And Dexter Resurrection is a totally different type of show, but the intensity and the character building and all that in Dexter Resurrection is what made it my favorite TV season this year. And I hope with this first episode that's kind of like this one where it's like tension and all that horror, and it keeps it all the way through. Now, while the army military secondary story wasn't like full front really in this episode because it focused on the kids side of things, I'm sure that we're going to get like the an episode or two and kind of focused on the army side of things. But really good kickoff. Um, right now, I mean, I do recommend watching it, especially if you like the It films, but it is gory. Um, trying to think, like, I would say it's even more gory than the first two It films as far as like sequences or scenes. Um, but that's what you get with this show. So if you didn't like the movies, you can't. There's no way you're gonna like this one. But if you really like the movies and want to see more lore, then you'll probably like this show. That's really the advice I can give. So it is only one episode. The next episode comes out in 2 days on Halloween on HBO. So I'm gonna be all over that. I want to see where it goes. So far so good. Interest all the way. A lot of WTF moments, like craziness, and yeah. Um, First episode, I give a big thumbs up to. Watch it. It's something else to start the season.